Hello friends, near and far, dear to my heart, I'm Victoria with Aligned Soul Tarot, and welcome to this Chiron natal series. We will be diving into Cancer in Chiron in your natal placement. For those that are watching with this natal placement, we're going to talk about the deeper meanings behind this placement amongst your birth chart, how it fits into this puzzle that you get to weave of your natal birth chart. We'll pull some tarot and oracle messages as well, so stay tuned for that. I'm recording this series, and again, whenever you find it, it's meant to find you during Sagittarius season, which represents Chiron. So it's a deep, profound time for all of us to tap into this Chiron placement. Chiron isn't about weakness or failure. It's about finding the strength to rise when you feel small. It's a connection between the struggles in your soul and the wisdom of the universe, offering a chance for healing and wholeness and purpose. Look to where Chiron is in your natal chart because it holds a lesson, a purpose, and a gift, a deeper truth. The wound it represents is your teacher, guiding you towards deeper understanding and the truth within yourself. In Cancer, it carries a wounded root in your heart, a longing for safety, for belonging, for the warmth of home that may have felt absent. It's the ache of being unheld when you needed it most. The quiet grief of feeling like you don't fully belong, even in the spaces that should feel the safest. This placement speaks to wounds of the past, family, home, childhood, the mother especially. It holds the echoes of emotional neglect, the fear of being too much or not enough, and the vulnerability that comes with wanting to be loved so deeply. Yet, within this wound lies your power, okay? Through your own journey of healing, you learn to hold space for others in ways you may never have been held. You create the safety you once craved, becoming a source of comfort, a nurturer, a guide for those who feel lost in their own pain. Chiron in Cancer teaches you that healing doesn't erase the past, but it allows you to reclaim your sense of self, to build a home within your heart, where you are always safe, always loved, always whole. Now let's get into your reading. Hello. Welcome to your tarot and oracle message. So first I want to cover some ground before we pull some cards, because man, you were tugging at my heartstrings. You know, I write this prompt up and it was kind of bringing me to tears, and it is a very heartfelt Chiron placement. It's a water sign naturally. So I want to give you some signifiers before we pull some cards for you of where else you can look to in your chart to gain some further information. And by the way, welcome to my channel. Thank you for following me here. Make sure you hit that like button. It's a free way to support this channel, and share away with other people that may have this placement, right? People that are around the same age as you within a couple of years are going to share this same Chiron placement. So share away. And below you can find some dates for the proximity of when this Chiron in Cancer will be. Okay, so other parts to look at in your chart, of course, is if you have Cancer, right? For those that have, say, a sun or ascendant or a moon, any of the internal planets, Venus, Mars, it's going to highlight your external reality, your waking life, your everyday life. And if it's in one of the subconscious planets, say Jupiter and outward, there's going to be a lot of karma potentially that you're learning, especially with Chiron, right? Chiron is not a planet, okay? But it is a point in our chart to seek enlightenment, to heal, to understand that we are fragile, we are human, and we are spirits living in flesh, right? And so during Sagittarius season, I felt compelled to provide this series because it is all about seeking a higher truth, right? Deeper perspective, looking beyond, our sun and ascendant sign. You're more than your sun sign is what I like to say. And I do offer detailed astrology birth chart analysis that comes with a 2-question tarot spread. So check out my website, all my helpful links. And if you're new to my channel here, I offer free monthly general guided messages, astrology, tarot and oracle messages, and love readings. So check out my channel and welcome. If you're returning, again, thank you for supporting me here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, looking at where you might have Cancer or any other water signs, also aspects to your Chiron, also transits. Transits are, for some of you that might not know astrology jargon, is your birth chart, right? It's kind of concrete. I do believe in evolutionary astrology, so this is where transits come into play because the planets are always moving. But how does it move with your birth chart? That's what a transit is. So there's certain transits to Chiron where this might be influenced, and maybe that's what's guided you to peep your Chiron and Cancer reading, right? So if you are new to transits, I do offer transit readings, or you can find this information online. Things like this are going to help you understand the dynamic with Chiron within your birth chart, because again, you're not just your Chiron, you're not just your sun sign. It's a holistic picture, okay? So just some key points to think about. And I do suggest, if you really feel guided by the messages that come up for you today, to watch for Cancer readings here on YouTube, right? You can check out the Cancer monthly readings on my channel or just in general, okay? All right, so without further ado, let's get into your reading. What are we going to pull from first? Kuan Yin, of course, is my feminine moon goddess. She represents the lotus, right? She stands on a lotus. And I'm getting reminded before I even start your messages, I have a lot of things coming through for you. Is the 4th house is another thing to look at in your chart. So say you do have, sun in whatever sign, but it's in your 4th house, right? This will also highlight Cancerian energy. 4th house represents the first 7 years of our life. This is our mother, our father, our siblings, if we had them, or the absence of such as well, because I do understand that not everyone has parents or family. Could be adopted, right? But again, whatever happened or occurred within the first 7 years of your life is going to highly influence this Chiron in Cancer, okay? And again, back to the lotus. The lotus, if you think about it, it grows and it blooms from the mud. So the 4th house, Cancer, also talks about our roots, again, where we come from. And so those roots run deep. Within the mud, we find such fertile ground for even the most beautiful of lotuses to bloom. So even with the neglect, or say the mother wound that you're carrying, because again, Cancer does represent the maternal lineage within your line, right? You could be a masculine and still, dealing with this maternal wound, right? We all can have masculine and feminine dynamics even within us, right? So this could be healing the feminine aspect of yourself that maybe was projected from a mother figure, right? It doesn't have to be a mother. It could be a woman you dated, or feminine archetypes within your life, mentors, teachers, right? This could be many different maternal figures, friends. And something to really think about here is, how do you like to be nurtured? Chiron in Cancer is urging you to dive deeper into your love language, your attachment style, getting more familiar with what you like and what you don't, so that you can be a better lover, not only to yourself, but to others. And And for those that don't have family, I'm also hearing that you can create your own family. And maybe for some of you, this is what you are here to do, is to find community, to find a place that feels like home, because maybe you never had that, right? So it's also very important for Chiron and Cancer to have stability within the home. And I talked about this during Cancer season, was sanctuaries, sacred sanctuaries, you know, and that doesn't have to be that you have a house, or you could live in a shack for all I care. You could be a traveler. You could, you know, you could live on a couch, you know, you could be homeless, but there is something here about finding your sanctuary. Where do you go to? It could be a place, it could be a tree, right? It doesn't have to be your house, but of course, Cancer does represent your home. What feels like home to you? It could be a person, a color. It could be a food. What makes you feel nostalgic? What makes you feel loved and cared for? Okay. All right, Kuan Yin. What do we have for Chiron and Cancer? Kuan Yin, Chiron and Cancer. Kuan Yin. Grace in full flight. And guess what? It's a number 13, which breaks down to a 4. I love the imagery. This is a very feminine deck. And I believe I did hear this from someone before, that Kuan Yin was actually non-binary. I don't know if this is true. I didn't look into it, but I did want to remind you. And then we have 41 here. Lots of 4s here. So I want you to also look into 4th and also 8th house for you. 4th, 8th, and 12th. Okay, are going to talk about the subconscious. This is, again, what maybe was hidden within the home that you are healing from. Okay, let's see. Grace in full flight. Number 13 could be of significance as well. 333, 444. So it says within you is a sacred rebel who dares to dream of a more beautiful world. You believe in inspiration and you trust in hope. How I adore that dreaming, daring, hopeful heart of yours. With my help, your heart can grow wings and soar. Your time has come. Oh my goodness, this is all about the heart. And look at them flying, open heart. So for some of you, the message I'm getting before I read further is that, you know, if there was neglect, not all of you had neglect within the home, right? This is the general reading. Remember, you can always get a private reading with me if you want to go into further clarification here. Is that no matter what has happened to you, you are here to keep your heart open. Don't let life harden you. We live in a world that is very complex. And we live in a world that is very, I wanted to say robotic, but it can feel that way sometimes. You know, survival mode. Just being like rinse, wash, repeat kind of cycle. And we can really forget to tap into our heart. And what is our heart wanting and desiring? You know, a lot of our life here on planet Earth is all around the mind. And our mind is such a powerful thing as well, but oh, what a powerful vessel the heart is. I'm getting reminded of Egyptian culture where they would actually weigh the heart at the time of death to see the level of karma, right? And the weight that's carried in the heart, it shows so much significance. So there is something around the heart here and keeping your heart open, even in the most trivial and trying of times, because you do, with this Chiron and Cancer, have so much to give, even if you feel like you don't, even if you felt like things have just been taken from you. I'm also getting reminded to urge you to remember to not desire or cling on to codependency in relationships. You know, if we are coming from a place of lack, trauma, neglect, you know, we can trauma bond and we can try to make something feel like home that really truly isn't, okay, for some of you, because there's such a deep need to belong with Chiron and Cancer. Yeah, fill the void. I just bookmarked with the void, so this is a strong message for you. Don't just try to fill the void with mundane things. Don't just also try to fill your home with a bunch of shit when it still feels empty. I'm getting reminded of someone It's materialistic in nature, and maybe for some of you, your parents were, or you've learned this behavior, and maybe you're now starting to see it, that money can't buy love, you know? And of course, fill your home with beautiful things that comfort you and bring you joy. I'm not to say that material possessions are a negative thing, but if you're trying to fill a void with, say, relationships or material possessions, it can feel like an empty, bottomless pit where you're never satisfied. Or again, I could be speaking on people around you that you've been in relation with, okay? It says, there's a time when it is time. Okay, there's a time that when there's time. Let me see if I can focus for you. My camera's been acting wonky lately. It hasn't been wanting to participate with me as much as I'd like it to. You get the picture. Mercury retrograde here. For something miraculous to happen, yet tangible, okay, and concrete. Something is finally coming to life in you, in your world. You've learned that it is only through conscious action combined with true surrender that grace can truly take full flight. And when this happens, it is breathtaking. I'm getting right now like a trust fall into the void, into the unknown. There's no limit to what grace renders possible. This is the realm of miracles, the rebirth of that you may have thought truly was lost. The pathway opening up where it once was blocked, barred, denied, or even invisible to you. This is the right thing, the right person, and the right time. All is falling into place effortlessly. It is a cosmic green light saying, yes, move ahead. Now is time. Even if it seems as though you are losing the very thing you want to hold on to by letting go, do it anyway. If you try to maneuver events, you'll just get in the way. Let go with patience, trust, and serenity. So yeah, this is kind of tying back to the codependency is like, you know, you might feel very protective because Cancer energy is very protective. It's mama bear, it's maternal. So, you know, it's like fighting for what you believe in. It can be such a beautiful gift with Cancer placements, but there can be an overprotective energy, again, overbearing parent, again, overbearing mother. You yourself could have children. This is something that you could struggle with at times when you're maybe not giving yourself what you need. You know, I was just actually talking to a parent about this, and it's very challenging because children come first, right? And there's no shame in that. Like, of course, especially young children, they need our undivided attention. But if you are a parent or you desire to be a parent, or again, we're talking about your parents growing up, it's not selfish to give yourself time to, because you will become depleted. And again, this could have been a parent of yours that maybe this is a place where you can show empathy, not to give them the reason to treat you like shit, or to have abused you in any way. But this is an openness and a gateway to understand maybe why hurt people. Were they not shown love? Were they not given love or attention? You know, these are some themes that you could be dealing with currently. Or again, these could talk about just reoccurring themes or themes that you are or already have worked through, okay? Chiron in Cancer. Chiron in Cancer, please show me the messages for my lovely Chiron in Cancer viewers. Chiron in Cancer. Your dreams need a practical plan. The full moon in Taurus reading is also below. I do provide full and new moon readings most months, whenever I feel guided, but I did have a full moon in Taurus reading, and you do have that card showing up here. So I'm urging you to go watch that. Again, playlists are below. And then I got Libra. So you could have Taurus and Libra in your chart or dealing with one as well. These could be parts of your chart that you can look into. Also, these are seasons, right? So highly influential times for you could be May and also October, okay? And then we have luck is on your side, Sag season, new moon in Sagittarius, which we just had. And again, whenever you find this reading, just know that these messages they're truly timeless, right? So it's looking like something needs something, you need to be more practical about something, right? I'm seeing someone maybe with a new romantic cycle begins, like maybe at one point in your life, you had a bit of naivety, or, you know, because again, Cancer loves big, wants to love, wants to protect, wants to nurture. You could have felt like even a caregiver at times to even your own parents, or again, a partner. And this is something that you're maybe seeing now. And like rose-colored glasses. Don't let love, I'm getting reminded, don't let love blind you, but let love in. There's a fine balance here with practicality around romance. A new romantic cycle is blooming, and luck is on your side within romance. If you are, again, being practical about it as well is the message that I'm getting here. What else for Chiron and Cancer? Chiron and Cancer. Chiron and Cancer, please show me. Also, as I was shuffling, I got another message for you. So for those of you, again, this is a general reading. If you are already in a relationship, right, you could feel like you need to bond in a different way. You know, Chiron and Cancer is a very heartfelt place. So in relationships with this placement, it's going to be very important, again, that you understand not only your attachment and love language, but also your partner's. These are things that will help deepen your romantic life and bring more luck and abundance and prosperity into your life the more that you get to know your heart. And again, what is your heart telling you? This is being more led by your heart and not as much in your thoughts and your mind, because it can lead to dishonesty, right? If you're only operating from your mind, we can get trapped there. I'm getting reminded like 8 of Swords. For some of you that may have Gemini in your chart, that could be a strong message. We have calcination. Calcination and cleanse. So where have you been dishonest to yourself around romance? And again, this is again where I was getting at with practicality. You got to see things for what they are. And that can be hard because, again, safety is so important for you, Cancer. So you can get yourself into situations where you have denied yourself safety or a false persona of safety. Again, like material things, empty relationships, meaningless things, creature comforts, all of these things are not necessarily bad, but in balance, in practical balance, okay? Especially with the Libra card here, that's talking about balance as well, okay? Let's read about calcination. This is the Death Doula Oracle. Highly recommend this oracle. It comes with a ritual for each card. Calcination, okay. Eggs. Purge. Remove mental and physical clutter. So, wow, that's exactly what I was saying with the house. Removing physical and mental clutter. This is what we were just saying. The thoughts, the mind. Where have you been dishonest with yourself? And also just kind of trying to fill up your home with useless things, right? Or for some of you, I'm getting like, say for instance that you do have your own place. You know, you can find yourself feeling more stressed out when your house is not clean. So with Cancer and Chiron, it is going to be important for you to keep your home clean with cleanse here. And like a visual, see this clearing here? It's very white, wiped clean. So this could also be wearing white, I'm seeing here, as something that could be a power color for you as well with this placement. White and reds. Or these could be colors that you could invite into your home. You could look into feng shui with, again, Chiron and Cancer, or any Cancer placement. The home is very important. Sacred sanctuary. And again, it doesn't have to be a physical home. These could be things that you bring along with you as you travel as well. But yes, if you do have your own space, make sure that you are cleaning it, cleansing it, saging it. Things of this nature. Your home, if it does not feel safe, it is going to very much directly calcify the mind here. You might not even realize that. Maybe this is the first time you've been like, wow, I never realized that doing my dishes and having a clean bed to rest in, you know, you didn't realize that it actually benefits you more than you thought. Or maybe this is just reassurance, strength. It tempers a part of you. what is that saying? Homeliness is godliness or something. Cleanliness is godliness. I'm getting that saying. If you drop a comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Cancer in Chiron, or Chiron in Cancer. Chiron in Cancer. Chiron in Cancer. What are the guided messages? Angels, ancestors, and guides. Ascended masters. Chiron in Cancer. Yes. My Beyonce card. The single ladies, single men card. It doesn't have to just be that. It's just more about interdependency in relationships and just in life. This is about self-worth. Grace also. And we saw that also with the calcination and this card, grace. Grace is definitely also applied here in the strength card. This is the Empress, the mother of all things. Again, very Cancerian. So I'm also getting reminded here with the cards that are showing up, and we'll talk more about them, is giving love and tending to yourself, of course, utmost priority. And the strength is like taming the shadow part of you, right? Taming the beast. And not just taming, but having empathy for those shadow parts of you. And again, any sort of neglect where you weren't given any sort of shelter, cleanliness, you know, where you didn't feel loving or beautiful, even with the Nine of Pentacles. There could be things around self-image here as well. And for women that I'm speaking to, you could have womb healing that you need to do as well, because Cancer represents the womb. It also represents the breasts. There could be some body dysmorphia. So signs I'm seeing here that you could be dealing with or have in your chart is Virgo, Leo, Capricorn, Libra. Strong Libra here for you. And Pisces, Gemini, and Taurus. We saw Taurus and Libra. So again, this is Venusian energy. Even if you don't have those placements in your chart, I would highly suggest that you look at those. It's Venus. And what does Venus talk about? Our values. I say from my dear astrologer that I look up to, Stephen Forrest, Venus in your chart represents the fine art of rejecting things. It's what we value. It's what we say yes to and what we say no to. And with this placement, it's highly suggesting that you learn how to say no and stop being dishonest with yourself. Self-care, self-preservation, and not beating yourself up about the times that you didn't have strength to make healthy boundaries. Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. Remember, we're talking about the Eight of Swords with the mind. I feel like you can get yourself wrapped up in sacrificing your needs for others as well with this Pisces Hangman energy. So you are going to have to learn a little bit about boundaries with Cancer and Chiron, or Chiron and Cancer, however you want to say it. I see people with blindfolds on here in both of these cards. So you have to be able to see things for what they are. And remember I said that in the beginning was not wearing rose-colored glasses in romance, being honest. We got the dishonesty card here. Two of Swords in reverse is I was going to say a word. What's the word I was looking for? It's a re-emergence, or I'm seeing someone like shouting from the rooftops, like annunciation to the world. I'm getting from this is like, I no longer am going to be stagnant, or the stalemate energy of feeling constricted or confined, because these energies here are very restrictive. All of them. And they all serve a purpose. Again, there's no shame in any of these energies. This is a part of the journey of Chiron, as these could be placements and cards and times that you've been in already for some of you, right? And it's just a reassurance to you of where you're going, right? Strength, Nine of Pentacles, self-sustaining, but also letting love in, understanding other people's shadow as well with the strength. But I am sensing that there is a need, if you haven't already, to let go of things that don't serve you, that weigh you down, that make you feel stuck. You know, again, this is a codependency card for me, because these two people are out in the cold, right? It can speak of trauma bonding. You know, it can talk also about camaraderie. When you think about war veterans, right? People that are off to war and they are in it, right? They're in it. They're out in the struggle. They're barely holding on. This person's wounded and this woman is by his side. She's showing a level of empathy, right? But in this kind of camaraderie, you know, veterans and war stories, it can create a trauma bond, right? Because we can get so used to this energy. And although it can feel good in the moment to bond with people, we can also get complacent and in the same kind of cycles, right? It's called trauma bonding. Look it up if you don't know what it is. And there's a time and a place for us to release ourselves from these kinds of self-limiting beliefs that, again, might have felt comfortable at one point, and it was a place of illumination and awareness that you had to be at that time. But it's seeming as though it's time to come in from the cold. Again, there's a lot around home here, right? Come in. There's shelter here. There's light. There's warmth in the Five of Pentacles. They are forgetting that here, because they're so stuck in their thoughts. They're so stuck in kind of a old pattern. This can also talk about financial losses with the Five of Pentacles, right? And with the Four of Pentacles, it is saying to, again, invest in things that are practical, right? Remember when I was mentioning earlier about spending on fruitless things? Let's pull another message for you before we close off this reading. Let's pull from the Creativity Oracle. I hope you enjoyed this message, and thank you again for following me here. Make sure to hit that like button again. It's a free way to support me. And check out my monthly free readings and all my playlists and links below if you'd like to book a private reading with me. Again, you are more than your Chiron placement, and I hope that you look more deeply into your birth chart. This is a very Cancerian image here. Cupid. It says seed. I have to kind of point it down because my light is a little wonky. Having the intention to grow like a seed and bloom is at the heart of creativity. You keep getting heart. Look at this one. Wow, very Cancerian as well. Mother. Healing the mother wound. Again, if you are a mother, I praise you. It's not easy, but it is a seed. There's something about having children here. Nurture in seed. There could be, if you're not a parent, there could be a deep desire to have children. And my condolences for those that can't. Or again, a free will, right? But I'm getting the message here that there's a strong desire to nurture and be loved, of course. It says for self-care, try loving and nurturing yourself as you would a child or a pet. Yeah, I'm also getting reminded for some of you, you might just be fur parents, right? With the beauty in that. You know, I'm also a fur baby parent. I myself desire to have a child, but I also understand, and this is my own personal outlook on it, at the ripe age of 37, you know, I work with children. And for some of you, you might also, right, if I'm sharing this with you. And I've come to this awareness in my life that I am open. I am open to what is and what shall be, but there's no I need this to be happy. So that's a message also for this placement, is to understand that if you are meant to nurture something, whatever that might be, it might be giving birth or being a father or adopting, or it could be many things, right? Or getting a pet. There's a desire here to do so, and all in due time, right? And again, I'm also seeing the Strength card again. Strong Leo here in your reading. So again, this is also like a pet, right? There's something about cats, birds. It says, have the courage to see the lessons in all situations and face them constructively. Remember we saw your dreams need a practical plan. So this is about really having the courage to kind of step out of old cycles. We got cycles here. Yes, we saw that. Also, I'm seeing here about evolve, Saturn. So looking into your Saturn placement, for some of you, you might be going through your first Saturn return. And again, a birth chart reading would really get you more familiar with your relationship with Saturn and Chiron. There might be some strong significance there. You might even have for some of you, Saturn in Cancer or Saturn in the 4th house, which will only influence this Chiron even more so, especially with Saturn, because again, Saturn's here. We also have the moon. You might have a moon in Cancer or a moon in Leo for some of you, or a fixed sign I'm getting. Dream. There's that moon again, Cancer energy. Also for those with this placement, making sure that you are reflecting on the moon cycles. This is, again, learning about the moon, understanding it from a scientific perspective, right? And also just understanding the many cycles and phases that you are currently in and have been, right? The wind blows, the wheel turns. We go through cycles just like nature because we are a part of nature. Beautiful. It'd be important for Chiron in Cancer to have a moon journal, right? Reflecting on certain moods that you're having, because again, this is a very watery placement. So your moods will fluctuate, especially Cancer. It's governed and ruled by the moon. And every 4 days approximately, it changes, right? It changes into a new phase of the moon, which represents a whole new feeling, emotion behind that. So for those with this placement, it would be highly influential for you to observe your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your cycles that you're in currently, especially amongst Saturn, karma that you're learning. What are you tending to? What seeds are you planting? What's actually coming into physical reality that's practical and tangible, constructive? And during those days that you might be feeling certain shifts, what phase of the moon is it? You might notice a pattern for you specifically of a certain phase of the moon that you feel either a lower frequency or a higher frequency, right? And understanding how that plays with your life, because you are very much connected to the moon, and it holds a wealth of information on how you can understand your emotions as gatekeepers. Because again, Cancer, there's so much transformation in your emotional well-being. Embodying that. Allow the energy of fear to be transformed by love, creativity, and compassion. I hope that you enjoyed these messages. I love you. Bye for now.